Hello, and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen and Karen's Library. One of the protest groups I'm interested in following is Rising Tide. They recruit high school kids to participate in their blockade at Newcastle Port. There's some more merchandise, and their leader is
Oi, punters. A greenie activist has finally worked out how to talk to the Murdoch corporate billionaire, mining billionaire funded media. And it does not end well for Sky News. Watch this. I have no idea who this newsreader is, but you can completely tell off the bat she has her talking points, she has her message, and she does not do so well. Let's watch. Oi, if you could just give us a quick sub, I'm trying to get to 100k before the end of the year. Cheers, punts.
Well, New South Wales Police have arrested 170 climate activists who blockaded one of the world's largest coal ports in Newcastle. Joining me now is one of the protesters from Rising Tide, Zach Schofield. Zach, thanks so much for your time. What is the intention with all of this? What are you actually trying to achieve?
I love the kickoff with just like this paternalistic, patronising question. Well done. That's a good kickoff.
So thank you for having me here. And look, I want to get a message across loud and clear. We are not trying to shut down the industry overnight. Yeah, we've demanded an end to new coal and gas expansions because we are in a climate crisis, right? And the government was elected on a climate mandate. And there's a very simple fix here, which is to stop expanding an industry which contributes to climate breakdown.
So he's kicked off really well. He's been really clear, and his opening statement plays back later on. So keep an eye on. He says, we're not expecting it to shut down tomorrow. Clearly get that on the record. I think he suspects what they're going to try and do.
The coal corporations, these multinational corporations like Glencore, don't get taxed appropriately. So we're also calling for a 78% tax on coal exports to fund.
So that's the angle that activists never use. They don't come to the angle that I've been banging on about for a while now. They're not paying their proper taxes and they're getting a bargain on their mineral resources. Sky News is not prepared for this line of argument. You can guarantee that after this exchange, they're sitting in back rooms going, what are our talking points for this one?
Blockading this, Jack, you've got to understand that puts jobs at risk. And what about the cost of living crisis where, older Australians in particular can't afford to put their heaters on at night? They're turning lights off, doing that kind of thing.
She's just trying to imagine, what do poor people do? They need their heaters. They're turning their lights off, cost of living. So he brings up, hey, they're bludgers, they're not paying their taxes properly. She goes, no, pivot that away. Everyday people, they're just worried about cost of living because you can see her angle is coal is cheaper, right? Fossil fuel energy is cheaper. That's the angle she's going for there.
We are in a cost of living crisis, and it's everyday Australians who are bearing the brunt, not the multinational corporations who get away with, coal royalties in New South Wales average 8 to 12%. That's far less than all of your listeners are paying on their income tax. When people are doing it tough at home, we need to understand there are multinational corporations that are getting away scot-free.
Yeah, well done. Well done. He has just matched. Oh, you want to talk about cost of living? Yeah, totally. Do you know why we're struggling? Well, let's go to coal royalties and multinationals who are actually at the root cause of all of our inflation because they're monopolies and they can do whatever they want.
You understand it does fund the budget. It does go into. It's not hypothecated spending. It goes into the federal budget. It could fund the budget
much, much more, right?
Okay.
Norway taxes its oil exports at 78%. That goes into a sovereign wealth fund that's worth over 2 trillion Australian dollars. They fund all of their social programs off it.
Sure.
So
she walked into that trap blind. Yes, but it funds the budget. We buy important things with this money. He's like, yeah. So we should get a lot more money so we can buy a lot more things. Drops the Norway example. Well done. That's an alternative model that would make us a hell of a lot richer.
Well, Zach, do you understand that this blockade at the weekend, it really divides people because not only did people need to be rescued...
See how patronising that is?
And I know publicity is part of the aim here.
Yeah.
But it seems counterproductive. You're getting a lot of people offside for a goal You said you want these multinationals to pay more tax and no coal and gas. Some of this is...
Look at it. He doesn't understand the claim. Well, hang on a minute. You want corporations to pay their fair share? The computation is like, because he was so clear with his claim of we want no new coal, don't shut it down tomorrow, and we want to get a fair share for our resources now. It's pretty clear and simple. So when she doesn't get that, you just end up looking dumb. So not great. But also, you notice the very patronizing. Do you understand? Like really trying to, as if this guy's like 14 years old, just, holding a sign on the street side. Like, do you understand that what you're doing is just really inconveniencing people? So patronizing. The fact that he's on TV, he wins. If you have him on your program to try and like make him look silly, he wins. He's getting attention to his cause because of you. And if you don't even get good entertainment rankings out of this, or you end up looking silly, you really ruined your chance there. It's a win to this bloke.
The Hunter region gets back less than 2% of the coal royalties that we create in our own communities to fund
good.
I mean, but these reasons...
But I don't know where to go with that. What, you're asking for a fair share of the resources that we own? I just not following.
I mean, but these resources belong to all Australians. You do understand that telling people... You're essentially saying to people without any new coal and gas that they're going to have to pay maybe double or triple on their electricity bill.
That's the second trap he's laid that she walks right into. He brought up the fact that Newcastle is only getting less than 2% of the royalties on this bloody thing. And he's saying we need more. And then she brings up the fact that, but the Australian people own these resources. Yeah. Whose side are you on? You're making his point for him.
You're essentially saying to people without any new coal and gas that they're going to have to pay maybe double or triple on their electricity bill.
Go back to the tried and true. It's more expensive.
Not at all. No. Solar and wind power is far cheaper.
No, it's not.
Hunters.
It's
yes,
actually
it
not.
Is. I'm
not
sorry,
right now. It's not.
Well, it will very much.
And the producer's like, this is not going well. This is not going well. You need to get, like, the producer's clearly feeding information here, trying to maybe bring some stats. If you're going to say it's not cheaper, both of them probably need to be dropping stats at this point here to convince the punter viewer who's right and who's wrong. Because like, yeah, you're wrong. Yeah, you're wrong.
Is rapidly decarbonising, right? Korea, Japan, these are our main export trading partners, and they are rapidly choosing to move to domestic energy production through renewables or domestic coal production. They are. And so the Port of Newcastle actually says...
She's making a massive mistake. She's just letting him keep going. Piers Morgan needs to give her some tips on don't let them keep talking, because now she doesn't know where to go. She doesn't know how to counter all these different points that he's bringing up.
The coal export market could collapse within the next 10 years. So what do we tell Hunter workers? What do we tell people in Singleton and Muswellbrook when their own port says that
she's listening to a producer? She's sitting there listening to a producer right there. The producer, she has nothing for what he is saying, and the producer, I guess, is trying to feed her a talking point. So at this point here, she's clearly not listening at all. So that's probably why her next point will be not related to anything he's saying, because she's just not listening at all at this point.
Collapse in 10 years. Are we going to fund those communities to transition to alternate industries? I think we should. Do you?
Oh, that's a really good point. The old turntable's there. The seats have flipped. He's now asking the questions. She has given up all the ground and all the power that normally comes in the position that she is in this interview.
It's hard to know where to start with that answer for a start, because I don't want to buy into some mistruths. And look, it's not just by you, it's by members of the government as well, who keep on repeating this line that renewables are cheaper. They're just not at the moment.
Yeah, you need
and they might not be for many decades.
I think the coal and gas industry have bought out a lot of politicians, and there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of money in these really powerful energy companies.
Who?
There's a lot of interest in these powerful energy companies.
Who have they bought? I mean,
who have they bought? I don't know. The entire Liberal Party, the entire Labor Party. Look at the political donations. Let's just take a quick look. Who's bought? She's looking baffled at the most basic kind of concepts here. But I suppose you wouldn't know if Rupert Murdoch is the one feeding you your information every single day. You're like, corporations could have to pay what they owe, and which politicians are bought? Who's bought? Well, let's start with Australia's most toxic industries. Lead annual political donor parade. You got the gambling industry leading the way, followed by the fossil fuel industry, consulting firms. Come on. And then don't get me started on Barnaby Joyce owning shares in mining companies. And then, anyway, you've seen all my stuff. Anyway, this video is not here to educate this journalist, but let's continue.
It's a big claim, Zach.
We've seen, well, they pay millions and millions of dollars in donations. We've seen
come on.
Politicians go into cushy
And
energy
the Greens.
corporation jobs.
The Greens are the
immediately
ones
as
that
soon as
accept
they
these
end.
enormous donations as well.
No, they
It's someone in her ear being like, the Greens, say the Greens. Like, I can't even.
don't. No, they don't. They don't accept any corporate donations. That's on their policy website. You can see exactly who donates to them. So no. Let me just make it very clear. The coal
She keeps
and gas
letting him talk.
corporations are
Don't
one
let
of the
him
most
talk.
Powerful business interests in the country. They do not
Yep.
care about workers. They do not care about communities. They care about their own profits.
Well, they're one of the
And I wanna
biggest
make something
employers
very
as well.
clear.
They're one of the
Here
biggest
we go.
employers, and they're a massive contributor to our federal budget and our well-being.
No,
if
they-
they-
Just quickly defend mining companies. Oh, well, they employ lots of people and they contribute to the budget. And he's like saying, yeah, they should contribute more. And they're just good. They're just good for the well-being. Oh,
No, we're not putting jobs at risk. In fact, we are advocating for a tax on the corporations to fund
But what about this
jobs.
coal that goes to places like
got something
India
now.
who need that for the poorest people in India?
got him. What about the poor people in India who need our coal? If we don't give it to these massive corporations for free, poor people in India. Last one. You see her light up there when she finally knew where the hell she was going, because he took her into a land that she did not want to be. It's in clips like this that show you, mask off, what their job is to do. Their job, this channel, that broadcaster, that journalist is paid to run cover for the corporate, billionaire, Indian-owned Adani Coal, Indian-owned, Chinese-owned, Yancoal, Chinese-owned corporations, which we give for very cheap royalties, get very little in return. She is defending these corporations, and that's what she will do no matter how silly it makes her look. Even if she doesn't have the facts, even if she doesn't have whatever it is, her job is to cast as much doubt as possible about investments in any other sector. Well, Zach Schofield and a rising tide, that is 1-0. Sky News, you're going to need a round 2 of redemption. Bring some more facts. Next time, just go to the protests and vox pop like the least intelligent protester you can find who just says something vague and generic and then characterize the whole movement as that person. Don't let blokes like this on your show again. He's got too many facts and he's too good at pointing the finger where the finger needs to be pointed.
Anyway, that'll go in a playlist. And that will do. See you later. Bye.